We are now 3-0 in our last three daily best plays on my premium page. We had the over in the Diamondbacks-Phillies game on Sunday, and there was 20 total runs scored in that contest. That was certainly an exciting game to watch. And the good news is I've got another daily best play going off here for Monday. That play's already posted and ready for access on my premium page. And if you sign up for my daily best play, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. Of course, you know I got to give a big shout out to all of my Gold Club members out there because you guys cashed in on 6 winning tickets yesterday on Sunday. We had the Jets in the NHL, Padres in Major League Baseball, over in the Blue Jays game. Athletics money line, Braves plus $1.30. And once again, we had the over 9 in that D-backs Phillies game. And the only way you could have accessed all those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Monday, May 5th, 2025. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you. Hopefully you had a great weekend. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. We're also 2-0 in our last couple of extra daily picks, 2-0 in our last couple of underdog tier membership plays, 3-0 in our last 3 NHL tier membership picks, 8-2 with a push in our last 11 chairman plays, and once again, we are 3-0 in our last 3 daily best plays. And the good news is I've got plays going off in all of those memberships on Monday, and they're all included with the full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Now, folks, if you're on the fence, I certainly don't blame you. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well, including my current overall win-loss record. You can access that right now by going to the post section and just scrolling down. Don't have to pay to access that. I currently have over 2,385 members who are signed up and active on my premium page as of right now. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Gonna start off in the NBA. Knicks Celtics, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Boston's minus 8.5, totals 212 and a hook. Now the Celtics failed to cover in 5 out of their last 9, bottom 5 in defensive turnovers. And they're facing a Knicks team who does not turn it over much on offense, and they also rank in the top 5 in shooting from the field. Jalen Brunson's averaging 31.5 points a game in the postseason, 4 boards, 8 assists. And Karl Anthony Towns is averaging double-digit boards in the playoffs as well, 48% shooting from three-land. I think the Knicks can keep it within a couple of baskets here. Boston laying nearly double digits in this spot. I like New York plus 8.5. Next game, Nuggets Thunder, 9:30 p.m. East. Oklahoma City's minus 8.5, totals 225. OKC failed to cover in their last 2 straight, sending way too many shooters to the foul line this year. OKC's currently 24th in free throws allowed per contest. They're facing a Denver squad who gets to the line more times a game than any other team. The Nuggets are also the best field goal shooting squad in the entire NBA. Nikola Jokic averages 24, 11, and 10 in the playoffs this year, 45% shooting from three-land. And Jamal Murray's making 40% of his three-pointers in the postseason this year himself. 22 points a night for him. I like the Nuggets plus 8.5. Major League Baseball, Dodgers Marlins, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. The Dodgers are minus $1.60, totals 9.5. Ben Kasparius expected for the Dodgers, Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. Sandy's just 2-3 with an ERA of 8.31. This Marlins pitching staff's been brutal this year. They're walking more batters per 9 than any other staff. They're also giving up more runs per contest than any other team as well. And they're facing a top 3 run-producing lineup in the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani with an OPS in the 900s. Teoscar Hernandez with over 30 RBI on the season. And if Kasparius is on the hill for the Dodgers, he's 3-0 with an ERA in the 2s. Now, the righty's also averaging over a strikeout an inning, whip of .92. I like the Dodgers minus $1.60. All right, next game, Guardians Nationals, 6:45 East. Cleveland's minus $1.20, totals 9. Luis Ortiz for Cleveland. Jake Irvin for Washington. Irvin's 2-1 with a 1.13 whip. The Nats also have a winning record at home, and they are a top 10 run-producing team on their own diamond. James Wood has 9 homers and an OPS of 926. Nathaniel Lowe leads the lineup in RBI. And they're going to face a 2-3 Luis Ortiz, who has an ERA close to 5 himself. And at the dish, the Guardians are in the bottom 10 in runs per game. I like the Nationals plus $1. Next matchup, Reds Braves, 7:15 East. Atlanta's $1.40, totals 8.5. A.J. Smith-Shawver for the Braves. Brady Singer for Cincinnati. Singer's 4-1 with an ERA of 3.24. He's also got 36 strikeouts and a 1.08 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Reds have one of the better run-producing lineups in the league, since he's third in runs per game while traveling, actually averaging double-digit hits a game away from home. Ellie De La Cruz has 25 RBI on the year, 13 stolen bases. And Gavin Lux is hitting 300 on the nose, on-base percentage of .402. And they're going to face a 1-2 A.J. Smith-Shawver, who's got an ERA of 4.26 for the Braves. Shawver also has a sloppy 1.68 whip. I like Cincinnati plus $1.20. Next matchup, White Sox Royals, 7:40 Eastern start. Kansas City's minus 240, totals 8. Cole Reagans for KC, Shane Smith for Chicago. And believe it or not, Smith's had some real good stuff so far this season. ERA of 2.23, whip of 1.08. And on the road, this Chicago pitching staff, they've done a fairly nice job. The Sox are in the top 10 in fewest hits allowed while traveling. They're facing a KC team who's struggled at the plate this year, especially at Kauffman Stadium. They're averaging fewer runs a game at home than any other lineup besides one. Of course, on the mound, Cole Reagans recorded just 1 win through 30-plus innings, ERA of 4.40. When it comes to the run line, the Royals have a losing record against the number in their own stadium. I like the White Sox plus 1.5. Next game, Astros Brewers, 7:40 Eastern start. Milwaukee's minus 120, totals 8. Tobias Myers for Milwaukee. Ronel Blanco for Houston. Blanco's averaging just about a strikeout an inning. Couple of wins on the year. And this Houston pitching staff's in the top 5 in fewest hits allowed, averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game. They're facing a Milwaukee squad who's struggled a bit at the dish at home. They're a bottom 10 run-producing team on their own diamond. The Brewers also took the loss in 3 out of their last 4. They were shut out twice during that short span. And if you think the bats are an issue, well, starting pitcher Tobias Myers has an ERA in the 5s, actually has more walks than strikeouts on the year. I like the Astros plus $1. All right, next contest, Giants-Cubs, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Chicago's minus 145, total 7.5. Matthew Boyd for Chicago, Landon Rupp for San Francisco. Rupp's got 35 strikeouts and 30 innings of work, couple of wins on the year. Of course, at the plate, the Giants have done a nice job producing runs on the road. They're in the top 10 in runs per contest away from home. Wilmer Flores with 7 homers, 31 runs batted in. And Young-Hoo Lee's hitting .305 at the plate as well. They're going to face Matthew Boyd, who's just 2-2 on the year with a 1.44 whip. And these Chicago pitchers have definitely struggled a bit at Wrigley this year. They're in the bottom 10 in runs allowed on their own diamond. I like the Giants plus $1.25. Next contest, Mets, Diamondbacks, 9:40 Eastern first pitch. The Mets are $1.15, Totals 9.5. Griffin Canning for New York. Ryan Nelson for Arizona. Nelson's got an ERA of 5.82. D-backs playing just 500 baseball at home. No real surprise here, folks. This Arizona pitching staff's in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. They're facing a Mets lineup who does not strike out a whole lot at the plate. Top 5 in runs per game on the road. Pete Alonso has got an OPS in the 1100s, over 25 RBI on the year. And Juan Soto with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. But even if the bats go cold here for the Mets, they've got a 4-1 Griffin Canning on the mound. 31 strikeouts and a 2.61 ERA. Of course, these New York pitchers are allowing more runs a game. These New York pitchers are allowing fewer runs a game than any other staff besides one. Give me the Mets minus $1.15. Next game, Mariners Athletics 10:05 East. Seattle's $1.15, totals 9. Bryce Miller for Seattle, Luis Severino for the A's. And despite some real good numbers out of Severino, he still comes into Monday's start with a 1-3 record on the year. And the A's have certainly played their worst baseball at home. They're 6-9 on their own field, 25th in runs per game at home as well. And they're going to face Bryce Miller, who's averaging over a strikeout an inning, ERA of 3.52. And out of the Mariners' last 10 ball games, they got the W in all of those contests except for 3. Give me the Mariners minus $1.15. All right, NHL. Panthers, Maple Leafs, 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Florida's minus $1.25, totals 5.5. Sergei Bobrovsky in the net for the Panthers. Anthony Stolarz for Toronto. Stolarz is 4-2 in the postseason this year. Goals against average of .221. The Leafs also saw 6 out of their last 10 contests fall under the total. 7-3 to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Panthers. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Defenseman Chris Tanev leads the club in postseason plus minus. Jake McCabe was a plus 23 in the regular season as well. And they're facing a Florida team who allows fewer pucks on net a game than any other roster besides one. Now, tell you what, when Florida's on the penalty kill, you just can't score against them. They're allowing fewer power play goals a game on the road than any other franchise. If they go to the box, they don't pay because they're just going to kill the penalty. Defenseman Seth Jones is a plus 5 in the postseason. Sergei Bobrovsky is 4-1 in the net in the playoffs this year. That includes a shutout and a .221 goals against average. I like the under 5.5. All right, NBA totals. Knicks, Celtics, 7 o'clock East. Actually doing just one total. Knicks, Celtics, 7 o'clock East. Boston, once again, minus 8.5. Total 212 and a hook. Boston saw overs in 3 out of their last 4 games. Leads the league in 3 balls per contest. They're actually averaging nearly 18 three-pointers a game. They turn it over fewer times per contest than any other roster besides one. Jaylen Brown's drilling 44% of his postseason three-pointers. Jason Tatum's averaging 31 points a game in these playoffs as well. And they're facing a Knicks team who saw overs in 4 out of their last 7 themselves. Top 5 in shooting from the field. Once again, Jalen Brunson's averaging 31.5 points a game in the postseason, 4 boards, 8 assists. And Karl-Anthony Towns, he's averaged double-digit boards in the playoffs this year, 48% shooting from 3-land. I like the over, 212.5. All right, Major League Baseball totals. Going to revisit that Dodgers-Marlins game, 6:40 p.m. East. Dodgers are $1.60, totals 9.5. Ben Kasparius for the Dodgers, Alcantara for the Marlins. Sandy, just 2-3, ERA of 8.31. Marlins are walking more batters per 9 than any other staff, and they're also giving up more runs per game than any other team as well. They're facing a top 3 run-producing lineup in the Dodgers. Ohtani, OPS in the 900s. Hernandez, over 30 RBI on the year. 9 out of the Dodgers' last 10 meetings with the Marlins did get over the total. Once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. And actually, the Dodgers saw a bunch of overs in their last 10 outings themselves. Meanwhile, 6 out of the Marlins' last 10 ball games got over the number as well. I like the over 9.5. Guardians Nats 645 East. Cleveland $1.20, total 9. Ortiz for the Guardians, Irvin for Washington. Irvin 2-1, 1.13 whip. The Nats are I'm not sure why I said that about Irvin, but the Nats are a top 10 run producing team on their own diamond. James Wood, 9 homers, OPS in the 900s. Lowe leads the lineup in RBI. And they're going to face a 2-3 Luis Ortiz, who's got an ERA close to 5. Cleveland saw 7 out of their last 10 get over the total. They're actually 13-6 of the over in their road games. I like the over 9. Padres Yankees 7:05 Eastern, first pitch in the Bronx. New York's minus 145, totals 8. Carlos Rodon for the Bombers, Nick Pivetta for San Diego. And we got ourselves a real good matchup on the bump in this one. San Diego's Nick Pivetta is 5-1 with an ERA of 1.78. Pavetta's also got 39 strikeouts and a .82 whip. And this Padres pitching staff allows fewer runs a game than any other team besides one. They're facing Carlos Rodon, who's punched out 52 batters himself and has a sub-1 whip as well. Of course, this Yankee pitching staff allows fewer hits per 9 than any other team. Yankee games went 60% to the under in their last 10. San Diego 8-2 to the under in their last 10 themselves. I like the under 8. Reds Braves 7:15 East. Atlanta $1.40, total 8.5. Smith Shawver for the Braves, Singer for Cincinnati. I'll tell you what, at the plate, the Reds have one of the better run-producing lineups in the league. 3rd in runs per game while traveling, averaging double-digit hits a game away from home. De La Cruz, 25 ribbies on the year, 13 stolen bases. Gavin Lux, 300 on the nose, on-base percentage of .402. Of course, A.J. Smith Shawver for the Braves, 1-2 record, ERA of 4.26. Of course, at the plate, the Braves have done their best hitting at home. Atlanta is in the top 5 in hits per game on their own field. Marcell Ozuna with an OPS in the 900s. Eli White with an on-base percentage in the mid-300s as well. 7 out of the Braves' last 10 gatherings with Cincinnati did get over the total. I like the over 8.5. White Sox Royals 7:40 Eastern start. KC's 240, totals 8. Reagans for the Royals, Smith for Chicago. And once again, Smith, ERA of 2.23, whip of 1.08. These Chicago pitchers, nice job on the road. Top 10 in fewest hits allowed while traveling. Meanwhile, KC struggles at the dish, especially at home. They're averaging fewer runs a game on their own field than any other lineup besides one. Now, the Royals saw unders in 3 out of their last 4 at Kauffman Stadium. 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. And out of their last 10 meetings with the White Sox, the under cashed in 80% of those ball games. I like the under 8 runs. Astros Brewers 7:40 Eastern start. Milwaukee's $1.20, totals 8. Myers for the Brewers, Blanco for Houston. Once again, Blanco averaging just about a strikeout an inning, couple of wins on the year. This Houston pitching staff's in the top 5 in fewest hits allowed, averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game. Of course, Milwaukee on the other side, struggling a bit at the dish at home. Bottom 10 run-producing team on their own diamond. Now, the Brewers also took the loss in 3 out of their last 4, and they were shut out twice during that short span. 3 out of Milwaukee's last 4 at home did fall under the total, 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the under 8 runs. All right, Giants Cubs, 7:40 Eastern start. Chicago's $1.45, total 7.5. Boyd for the Cubs, Rupp for San Francisco. Of course, at the plate, the Giants have done a nice job producing runs on the road. Top 10 in runs per contest away from home. Flores, 7 homers, 31 RBI. Lee's hitting .305, and they're going to face Matthew Boyd, who's just 2-2 on the year. 1.44 whip. Once again, Chicago pitchers have struggled at Wrigley this year, bottom 10 in runs allowed on their own field. Chicago games went 11-5 to the over in the friendly confines. Houston contests are 15-4 to the over in their travels. I like the over 7.5. All right, next contest, Pirates Cardinals 7:45 East. St. Louis is minus $1.50. Totals 8.5. Miles Michaelis for St. Louis. Carmen Mlazinski for Pittsburgh. The Bucks saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. 11-5 to the under in their travels. At the plate, Pittsburgh's currently a bottom 5 run producing team. They're facing a Cards squad who actually has struggled with Pirate pitching in recent matchups. St. Louis averaged just 3.2 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Pittsburgh. And no real surprise, folks, the under cashed in 70% of those head-to-head contests. I like the under 8.5. Next game, Mets, Diamondbacks, 9:40 p.m. East. The Mets are minus $1.15, totals 9.5. Griffin Canning for New York, Ryan Nelson for Arizona. Nelson, ERA of 5.82. D-backs playing just 500 baseball at home. These Arizona pitchers are in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. And they're facing a Mets lineup. They do a great job making contact. Top 5 in runs per game on the road. Pete Alonso, OPS in the 1100s, over 25 ribbies on the year. Soto with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. 5 out of the Mets' last 7 road games did get over the total. Arizona saw their last 4 straight at home get over the total themselves. I like the over 9.5. Next and final breakdown, Mariners Athletics 10:05 East. Seattle's $1.15, totals 9. Miller for Seattle, Severino for the A's. The Athletics have seen 60% of their home games this year get over the total. Top 10 in hits per game. Soderstrom and Rooker have 9 homers apiece. Jacob Wilson's hitting .333. They're facing a Seattle squad who's definitely pounded the baseball on the road this year. They're averaging nearly 11 hits a game in their travels. They lead the league in that particular category. Cal Raleigh, 12 home runs, most in Major League Baseball, OPS of 945. Jorge Polanco's got 9 homers himself, OPS of 1203. Mariner games went 9-1 to the over in their last 10. 67% to the over in all of their road games this year. Meanwhile, A's games went 60% to the over this season on their own diamond. I like the over 9 runs. And with that, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. NBA against the spread. Knicks plus 8.5, getting the job done at Boston. Nuggets plus 8.5, getting the job done at Oklahoma City. Major League Baseball sides, Dodgers minus $1.60, Washington plus $1, Reds plus $1.20, White Sox plus 1.5 on the run line, Astros plus $1, Giants plus $1.25, Mets minus $1.15, Mariners minus $1.15. NHL totals under 5.5 in that Panthers Maple Leafs matchup. NBA total over 212.5 in that Knicks Celtics game. Baseball totals over 9.5 Dodgers Marlins, over 9 Guardians Nationals, under 8 Padres Yankees, over 8.5 Reds Braves, under 8 White Sox Royals, under 8 Astros Brewers, over 7.5 Giants Cubs, under 8.5 Pirates Cardinals, over 9.5 Mets Diamondbacks, and give me the over 9 in that Mariners A's game. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium page, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks, that Gold Club membership, it's a full access, all-inclusive package. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single membership, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.